up a lie, because there's something in the eyes which you reveal what you are saying. I was recently, months ago, I was in Bangladesh. Bangladesh is the country of the world which is most vulnerable to floodings and cyclones and a monsoonal regime.
All right, stay there, Doctor. We've got to go to break. Come back and tell us about that.
Okay.
We have a top sea level expert. I don't know if you'd call it hydrologist. He just retired. He was the head of Paleogeophysics and Geodynamics department at Stockholm University. I guess he registers hydrology on a global scale. And he's exposing the criminals.
This is an emergency alert. Do not take risky vaccinations this fall. I'm Dr. Leonard Horowitz, a Harvard-trained public health expert, urging you to go to fluscam.com and learn the secrets behind the current flu, who's behind it, the labs it came from, and the vaccine poisons. Learn why Barack Obama's science czar recommends vaccinations to sterilize people to reduce populations, and why OxySilver is making vaccinations and toxic antibiotics unnecessary. OxySilver is far safer than colloidal silvers. It works so well saving lives and money, protecting you and your family, it has been targeted for elimination by the drug cartel. Learn more about amazing OxySilver and order it online at OxySilver.com. If you call right now, I'll send you a free information kit. Call toll-free 888-KO-GERMS. That's 1-888-KO-GERMS. Order OxySilver today. This call could save your life.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As they're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Are you tired of out-of-control, irresponsible federal deficit spending? Increasing the money supply without increasing productive output leads to inflation. You get less for your money. If you want to protect the buying power of dollars for your future, then call Peter May at Midas Resources, 800-686-2237, extension 135. You've worked hard for your dollars. Don't let the government strip their buying power with wasteful spending. Gold has a 5,000-year track record as money. Real money you can count on. No government-backed paper currency comes close. Ask me about the protection of private gold. Call Peter May at Midas Resources, 800-686-2237, extension 135. Central banks from around the world are stockpiling gold. They know gold is real money. Call Peter May at Midas Resources, 800-686-2237, extension 135, to discover the advantages of private protected gold.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
In 1913, close to 100 years ago, a fraud as big as the Copenhagen global government takeover happened to our nation. A private group of banks paid off the government to give them the power to issue currency and credit. And now, 97 years later, the very same group of banking families are setting up a global tax on all human activity. We're talking to one of the world experts on sea levels, Dr. Nils-Axel Mörner. He joins us from Sweden. He just got back from the Copenhagen Global Government event that is in deep trouble, thank God. But it doesn't matter. They're still implementing it at the local level. You were finishing up a story about a nation you visited. Go ahead.
Yes, Bangladesh. That's a nation which is probably the most vulnerable to flooding disasters and cyclones, all in relation to the annual monsoonal changes. So there we know from year to year that floods and its terrible loss of people. And IPCC have claimed with the rising sea level it will be so disastrous that maybe hundreds of thousands of people will be killed, and also maybe 1/4 of the country will be simply wiped out. Some have even said 90%. So that is what they claim. But what is the truth? The truth is something completely different. I have been in the Sundarban Delta. The Delta is the most sensitive area. First of all, I learned that it has become more saline. The fresh water has decreased. So they say, sea is rising. However, it's not at all rising. They have built a dam of Ganges, so of course less fresh water is coming out. That's the only simple reason why it's become more marine. Another area have been more affected by floodings. So what have happened there? They have cut down the mangrove forest to give place for shrimp ponds. And it was earlier 4,945 hectares of mangrove swamp. Now it is 150 hectares.
And so now the water can speed up.
Yes. So but instead of saying, we have done something stupid, we shouldn't have done that, they say, it's the global sea level rise and we cannot do anything and the West must pay us. So I went out there and it was very rapidly I found an area where it is a delta area. The delta is usually built up right to the mean sea level. So in this delta, first of all, it was covered by a forest which is 50 years, maybe 100 years. So it means that sea had not continued to rise, because otherwise the forest would have been underwater, and it's not. So that is the first thing, but nobody have thought of that. Second, it was a huge, tremendous erosion. Huge part of the coast was gone. And you could see in the shore, lot of tree trunks were sticking out. Many people would say, because there are tree trunks, it's a forest, it would be rise in sea level. But those were mangrove trees, and you could see the horizontal root system, which tell you exactly that this where the mud flat was before the erosion. And if you make that calculation, sea level has not risen a centimeter. Maybe even gone a little
so
down.
They cut down the mangroves to put in shrimp farms. There was some floods and there was some erosion.
Yeah, but that was another place where I was. It was right in the middle of the remaining mangrove forest, an island which was facing the whole of the Indian Ocean. So that was severely eroded. And all the other people, when they see erosion, they say, sea level rise. But I could prove here by the trees again. Tree doesn't lie. The horizontal roots of the trees were 80 centimeters above the shore. They showed you that the old mudflat was 90 centimeters above the shore, and that means exactly as in the forest. So sea has not risen. That's quite simple things, but it tells you remarkable thing. Even in Bangladesh, there is no...
Well, Doctor, here's the issue. We know it's all a fraud. We know they want a global government. I mean, when you do talk to other scientists, they keep saying the majority of scientists think the Earth is warming.
No.
Even as that's another fraud, just like polar bears can't swim, right?
Yes. So, for example, We know that we have hundreds and hundreds.